Hey guys, as many of you know, based on our name, we have the Green Up Academy, which is your place to go for courses, community, and coaching in the landscape industry. But I wanted to specifically talk for just a minute about our crew program, which is our community groups here through the Academy, where you get Zoom calls, direct access to me, and a lot of community with other guys on how to grow your business. It's been absolutely transformational. We have so many great testimonies, so many guys who are just seeing leaps and bounds their businesses grow, and also the things that we can help them with. So we have a couple spots left that we'd love for you to consider. We'll give you your first month free if that helps you. Just use code GREENUP at checkout. And we will absolutely do that. Or if you DM us or email us, we'll certainly apply that. But we're starting our second group soon, so you don't want to miss those spots before they fill up. Check us out at the Green Up Academy and the crew. Thank you guys so much.
Welcome to the Green Up Academy podcast with Alex Kirby, where we focus on helping you level up your green industry business. Whether it's marketing, finance, employees, or strategy, we talk about everything on this show to help you apply it to your business and change your family and company's future for decades to come. Here's your host, Alex Kirby.
What's going on, everybody? This is Alex with the Green Up Academy podcast, where we help you level up your green industry business one day, one mow, one everything at a time. I am here with my new friend, Cody Stikle from Revhike. How we doing, Cody?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. I didn't even get where are you based out of, Cody?
Near Virginia Beach area.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I've got a guy. One of our guys in our program is named Campbell. Campbell's in, where is he at? In Virginia. Gosh darn it. He's in Virginia. He always tells me where he's at, and I always forget. But anyways, I've never been to Virginia. Fun fact. Never, not one time. And I'm in South Carolina, which is not far.
Nice. Yeah, I've got my aunt lives down there in the Myrtle Beach area.
Oh, does she? Producer Mac was just in Myrtle Beach this weekend.
Oh, nice.
What were you doing in Myrtle Beach, Mac? Oh, an engagement party. AKA get as much money as you can for your new wedding or gifts so you don't go broke when you get married. Smart person. My wife and I would have absolutely were broke if we didn't have the $3,000 from our wedding that we got. I'm serious. We were so broke, and we were like, oh my gosh, we have enough to buy a table. We were renting a house, Cody, and we didn't even have enough to buy a dining room table. And so our wedding gifts gave us enough to buy a table. But so Cody, you have a cool thing, and we're going to talk through this because I'm all about on this show. This is a show about the business side of the green industry. We don't talk about how to stripe better. We don't talk about, we don't nerd out on equipment, talk about cut height and all that stuff. There's other shows for that. We try to help green industry pros learn how to be better business owners and have better companies. You have a unique offering. Your company's called Revhike. Can you care to explain to our listeners kind of what you do and how you got to this point today?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, Revhike helps lawn care business owners capture more revenue without missing phone calls. That's essentially what we're doing. We're helping people, whether it's an overflow option where you can't get to the phone in time, maybe you're on the other line, or you need someone full-time. We're going to help you answer the phones, answer lead forms from your website, and then turn those into customers. So we're actually going to measure out the properties. We have a sales team around the U.S. You're all U.S. based. So when we, partner with you, we sound like we know what we're talking about because we only work with lawn care guys. We're all U.S. whatever. That's pretty much it. If we ended up closing you a sale, it's just a flat fee of $50, regardless of the total amount. So it could be a lawn mowing customer for $1,500 or a FERT customer for $500. It's a flat fee, but the main thing is we're helping you, make sure that you're not losing money on the table that otherwise went to your competitor.
I like that. I think that's a huge problem that a lot of guys face is that they're on the mower when the phone rings. And so then they put it to voicemail and then they don't have time to get it back to it because when they get back to the shop, a couple of guys are there asking where their paycheck is. And then next thing you know, it's 6:30 and then you got to do jobber stuff all night and so then you just forget to call someone back for 3 days. And by the time you call them back, they're like found somebody else. Right. So That's an age old issue for many companies, and especially I'd say probably 2 million in revenue and less, because most don't hire a salesperson full time. 2 million in revenue or less. I mean, we were at upper 1.6, and we didn't have a full time salesperson. We had 2 managers who did sales half the time and managed half the time. Which, if I look back, I've said this on the show, Cody, I made a mistake there. I definitely would have a production manager managing crews only every day, making sure crews have what they're supposed to have in quality control and training. That was the 3 things. It's funny the things you hone in on after you sell. Like, I knew that, but I would have one that, and then one sales only is what sales manager. I should have split those duties. And the reason why I say all that is, to your point, that's what owners are doing right now. They're trying to manage, they're trying to work, and they're trying to sell, and they're not doing any of them very good. And so that's where Revhike can come into place. So, what made you come up with this idea? So, and I guess one thing for listeners before you answer is, guys, think about what Cody does is inbound sales, meaning as people contact you, he helps convert that into dollars for your business. Okay, so outbound is when you approach people like cold call or knock on doors and stuff like that. You're going and trying to get business. Inbound is people are trying to give you business, and he's actually capturing it, okay, just for education purposes. So, Cody, what made you come up with this idea and all that? I mean, it's pretty unique and a cool concept.
Yeah, so back in 2012, right out of high school, I started a lawn care business, just like a lot of people do. Like, when they don't want to go to college, they don't want to get a normal desk job. What is there to do? Well, outdoors is kind of cool, So I started that. Didn't have a clue what I was doing, and I really didn't do much YouTube University. The biggest guy that I listened to was Jonathan Potoshnik with Lawn Care Millionaire. That was my education after high school. Anyway, so with that, you're cutting off there a little bit. I don't know, but I started doing this. Was the $20 lawn care guy on Craigslist for the first year, then realized I wasn't making any money. I was just paying myself what I was worth as a traditional labor. A lot of people make that mistake. It's like, oh, I'm making $20 an hour. That's more than that's what I was making as a lifeguard. Yeah. That was what I did before. So anyway, grew that to, I know I'm giving you a long backstory, but it's okay. We had like 100 clients, right? The phones are starting to come in. I've got the Google reviews going. I'm the top dog in the area because nobody's really caught on yet. Back in the day, they're like, doing where they're leaving rocks on the driveway with bags or whatever.
Dude, that is so funny that Mac, do you know about this? One of the most leading things that I saw, and Cody just mentioned when I first started my lawn care company, is people will put in a Ziploc bag their business card and a rock and throw it on everyone's driveway. And it's not a bad idea, to be honest with you, in terms of conceptually. Like, it kind of makes sense so it doesn't blow away. But I'm a big door hanger guy. I like if you have a crisp door hanger, everyone has to open their front door. So I never did that. I did door hangers. But anyways, That's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah. So anyway, when we got to about year 3, I was realizing, well, dang, I need to be off the truck because my phone is ringing. I need to be. There was a guy. Somebody said this. It's like, you need to be working on your business, not in your business. Okay. So I took that to heart and I pulled myself off the truck way too early.
Yeah.
And you know what that does? That eats into your bottom line like big time
because you can't afford while you're scaling.
Yeah. Well, you go from being a moneymaker, $60 an hour, down to $0 an hour, and now you're this big expense. And by the way, this is about when I was starting to think about getting married and all this stuff. So I'm still not getting paid crap because my business is still small, but I need to grow. I need to make sure my phone is getting answered because that's the number one thing you can do is make sure you just pick up the phone. Of course I was, rocking the earbuds or whatever, trying to make that work, but you can only do so much out in the field. You don't
have your notepad. You don't have your software pulled up. It's tough.
It's really tough. So I ended up going back in the field and I hired like an office person full time, which was super expensive. I still didn't have the money coming in to really do that. I actually watched a YouTube video and from you just before this call, and it was like, when should you hire an office manager? And you were saying something like, when you're up until 10 or 12 o'clock at night and you can't, you want to, when you're in that spot, that's when you hire it.
Yeah, I'm big on around $500,000 is maybe your first hire, like really? 20 hours a week,
Right.
Like, cause it doesn't cost that much. You're talking about $400 a week. To your point, you're going to be answering more calls to get that revenue right back anyways. Right. They're going to save you 10 hours a week of admin time that you can work on the business. Yeah, I hired a manager at $1 million, like projected $1 million. And I hired an admin / social media person. So they did half admin, half social media stuff at the same time. So that was my first 2 hires, not laborers.
Mm-hmm.
But we were already $500,000. So I did $500,000 by myself. And then we were doing month over month, 80,000, so I knew that we were projecting $1 million when I hired both of them. So yeah, Cody, we just have, we normally have not really your traditional guys. So that's why I wanted to have you is because we try to figure out how do we make this industry better. Because when I was talking to a guy earlier today, my hope is that landscaping and green industry is viewed as a trade just like any other in the years to come. So plumber, electrician, like is respected as that. And there's no reason why it's not, but the main reason is because you don't typically have all the main, like these issues, like admin issues and like answering the phone issues from these medium-sized plumbing companies. Like my cousins own one. They only have 6 employees, but they have a real office. They have a really nice office and, but they're really small, but at least they answer the phone and they do all these things. And typically your landscapers, even with 5, 6 employees, they just don't run a really good business a lot of the times. So anyways, so Cody, kind of talk through your process. So let's say I called and my name's Sally Joe and I'm looking for a lawn care quote from Bob's Lawn Care, and you're working for Bob's Lawn Care through Revhike. What does that look like once you answer? Tell me, go through your whole pitch, like go through your whole cycle.
Yeah, so I would, introduce yourselves. Hey, it's Bob's Mowing. How can we help you today? And they'll normally say, well, I'm looking for a quote for lawn care. Can you get somebody out here and take a look at it or whatever? And we try to, we just basically explain to them, yeah, no problem. I can normally get you a quote while we're on the phone here. It might take a couple minutes. I can pull your address up. What is your property address? Immediately after that, they'll say, oh, great. Yeah, it's 123 Main Street, right? Cool, great. I see you're in this area. And at that point, we're making sure that they're in their service area because that's the number one disqualifier. If they're outside of the zone, we're not going to even mess with it.
Cool.
From there, we start mapping it out, taking the measurements. And while we're doing that, we're getting the contact information for the individual, just so we can count them as a lead. Because regardless if they're a good fit or not, it's still a lead. You still paid for it, whether it was through SEO or pay-per-click. Every lead needs to be counted in order to really know what your true conversion rate is. Sure. So once we get all their information, maybe they're really hung up on the fact that why do you need all my info just to get a price? Well, that's part of the process. Okay. This is just kind of our system won't give out, pricing without getting all of that information to get that set up. Right. And then while we're doing that, we're also having a conversation with them around, why are they calling us in the first place? Right. Most amateurs might just assume, oh, they're just looking for a quote, that's what they're calling about. They want a price for the lawn care. No, they're calling because they want to solve a solution, solve a problem, right. And they're looking for the solution. The number one thing that they're looking for is that you answer the phone. Great. That's checkbox number 1. You're actually going to communicate with me. They're not going to work with a company that they don't hear from in 2 or 3 days just to get them the first price. So immediately they're having a good experience with you as a business before they even give you their first dollar. So after that, once we've learned that, I like to ask the question, what's going on with the lawn now? Are you guys maintaining yourselves, or do you have a competitor doing it for you? Tell me more about that situation. They're in either of those two camps, right?
Yeah.
So once we find that out, we can kind of dive in deeper and figure out, okay, so like, what are you trying to do with that? A lot of times they'll tell you, well, the guy that we have now is just not showing up. They're not doing a great job. They're not blowing off the back deck or whatever it is. Okay. Tell me how that could be. Why is that important to you? Well, we have guests over. We want to make sure the place is presentable. Right.
Right.
So then we kind of go into, okay, we label ourselves as the expert. Oh, how did you hear about us, by the way? We saw you on Google. Your Google reviews. Oh, we hear that all the time. We're like one of the, they'll say, yeah, you guys got great reviews. So we want to make sure that they know that they're calling the right person, that we're going to be able to take care of their needs. We're not going to be the same company that they're used to dealing with. And that's going to help you. Go ahead.
Sorry. How do you, when you work with as many companies as you do, how do you know, what software do you use so that when they call, you know which one they're calling for?
We use call center software called Ring Central. A lot of people use it. It's a pretty popular app. We have it set up to where it'll ring out their company name so we know who the call is coming in for. Yeah.
That's cool. I want our listeners to hear that so they could be like, well, I would hate, so I would hate if he said it was Joe's lawn care, not Bob's. That would suck.
Yeah, that would not be good.
No, that would not be. Okay, that's cool. Keep going.
Yeah. So where was I at? So we give them the value proposition. We say that we demonstrate that we have the solution, right? And then at that point, we kind of walk them through the services that we offer, the way that we're going to do it. We're going to, if it's a mowing example, we're not just there to mow and go. We're going to mow it. We're going to trim it, edge it, and clean it up, make sure everything looks good and taken care of before we leave. Because the last thing we want is for you to call us about an area that we missed that we have to drive back out and take care of. We want to just make sure it's done the right way the first time.
Right.
And then from there, ultimately, like, we're in business because of the Google reviews. This is also another thing that we'll do is we'll help you try to train your clientele to like leave good reviews too. And it starts with like that initial upfront contract. It's like, if we do good work for you, kind of this is what our goal is to earn your referrals and your review on Google. At that point, they've got the layout. Now it's just the pricing, right? We give them the price. They already know we're the right fit. It's just a matter of making it make sense financially. A lot of times that the price is justified because they know they're going to get a better product. So that's just one way that we help try to prevent the objections from happening, because you're always going to get one or two. In most cases, it's not always, as easy as it might sound selling lawn care. Like, there's still going to be people that are hesitant. Especially in the springtime. People in the springtime, they might, most times they are coming in from, they've had a competitor last year and they're trying to figure out what they should do this year.
Right.
So a lot of times you'll get price shoppers, and a lot of times they won't tell you that it's the price that they're objecting to,
Sure.
They're going to say, oh, I need to think about it. Okay. Most guys might say, oh, what do you need to think about? They're not going to really tell you. They're going to be like, I just need to think about, I got to talk to my spouse about this. Okay. Okay, great. Just call me whatever. No, that is not how you deal with it. Right. When you get the objection, you agree with the customer, you say, okay, great. Totally understand. You need to talk to your spouse. When in the next day or two do you feel like you'll have had time to get back? They're going to say, oh, I could probably get back in touch with you tomorrow or give you a call then. Great. One last question before I let you go. What do you think your spouse would have questions about? Just so I can make sure that you have all the answers. And then that's when they're going to tell you the real objection. They're going to say, well, he's probably going to be concerned about the price, and then you might dive in deeper and handle the price objection from that point.
Sounds a lot like that. Is that Andy Tucker guy, the one that's doing all that sales stuff, the jacked guy? What's his name? Andy Tucker, right?
Oh, that's Andy Elliott.
Andy Elliott. Thank
He's
you.
the guy with the tight pants and the.
Yeah, and well, he's always saying, "Totally get it, I understand." Like he always agrees with the customer. So that's what I heard there. So this is my initial thoughts on it all. For anyone listening, to me, it makes so much sense. If you're having a hard time, well, everyone has a hard time with sales because sales takes a lot of time, and you might not be good at it. So it's hard, you know. Do you have time, and are you good at it? If not, if you're able, like I said, if you're going to get someone $160 a month, $140 a month client, and they're going to be expected, you know, I would expect people to have customers at least 2 years, 2 to 3 years, right?
Right.
Oh, that's $1,600 a year. That's $3,200 for 2 years, and you pay $50 for that. I don't see how you object to that. I really don't. So your value proposition there makes a ton of sense to me. For a lot of guys listening, I like how simple you've made it to where you just get on a call with them. What is the rate they want to get per X amount of square feet or hourly rate? You've got all that down. That way you can't really mess up their quote, so to speak, because then they've already told you what they wanted. And so if you got them that price, then how could they object? Yeah, so I just think it makes a lot of sense based on the value you can bring someone for not a high dollar amount, and it's a dollar they would have spent to someone anyway. So whether it be an admin or whether it be themselves costing themselves, they're saving money by not doing it themselves. Because these are quotes that I'm not going to say they're not easy to mess up, but like their rinse, wash, repeat, their fertilization, their mowing, their square footage, their, you know, like it's not like it's a mulch job where you can be off by 3 yards or something, right? So am I hearing that right?
Exactly. The goal is to make this scalable, and the easiest way to do that is to simplify things. So we've simplified it by using the same pricing that you would normally in your office if you were to do it. You know, so we're getting your square footage up to the minimum amount that you'd want, up to adding a whatever that is in there. As it grows. So
cool. Well, Cody, I think this has been great. And what I want to do is there a way for people to get in touch with you for a free consultation to see if it's a good fit? What's the best way they can reach out to you? Cody at revhike.com?
Either email me there, or you can go to the website and there's a easy form to fill out just to book a call.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'd be the best way to do it.
Awesome. And I'm looking forward to talking to you offline more about it to see if we can make this a good fit for the Academy. And again, this is the kind of tools we want to give our Academy listeners and members, is things that can help them make more money in their business. And sounds like that is something you guys do. And I like it conceptually for sure. Cody, thanks so much for being on today, man. And I'm looking forward to talking more. And guys, this is the Green Up Academy podcast, where you come to level up your lawn and landscape company within the green industry. This has been Cody Stikle from Revhike. Make sure you guys check him out. We're going to put his links in the show notes. Producer Max got all that. We're going to put some clips, and we'll make sure we collaborate, Cody, on some clips on your social medias. Just let us know. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.